Hey fam, it's your girl 4cHairChick here, and in today's video I'm sharing with you how I blend the hairline of my finger comber unit. Stay tuned! Okay, to start I just want to show you how I braid down my hair underneath the wig. And I do this so I don't have awkward bumps under the wig and it'll lay flatter. So that's the whole purpose of braiding down your hair underneath. The first thing you want to do in this case is create a 3/4 inch section of hair in the front. That front section we're going to 2-strand twist, and that will be used to blend the hairline of the unit. The rest of the hair I'm going to cornrow back so it lays as flat as possible. So as we style our hair to lay it down underneath the wig, it's really important that you prep each section before you braid or twist it. So you just need to make sure you thoroughly moisturize any section that you touch. I start out with water, and I do that because water makes my hair much easier to work with. After the water is oil. You want to make sure you have an oil that penetrates the hair shaft. Not all oils do that. Coconut oil does penetrate, so I'm using coconut oil mixed with almond oil. And you want to work that all the way through your hair. After you apply the oil, I apply shea butter. And I put the shea butter specifically at my ends, and then I work it up towards the root of my hair. And the shea butter just helps with dryness, right? Because the ends of your hair are more prone to dryness, and shea butter is very thick. You'll also find that when you take out any style after you've used shea butter, it tends to hold your curl or the style that you had in really well. And then after the shea butter, you can go ahead and work it through your hair a little bit more, and then you can go forward with styling that section. This process that I just showed you as far as moisturizing, I used and repeated throughout my whole head as I did each section and prepped it for braiding or twisting. So you 2-strand twist the front section that we pulled out. And the reason is because the finger comber unit, it comes in 2-strand twists. And so when I wore it, I decided not to undo that. I left those in. So you're going to use these front pieces to blend the hairline with the finger comber unit. The rest of our hair, we're simply going to cornrow to the back. So in this part of the video, you're going to see me cornrowing my hair, and I'm not going to talk you through that because the video will really show you, it'll illustrate everything, but I do want to give you a couple of tips, and these are all tips on how to reduce the number of knots you get when you cornrow your hair. So number one, you want to saturate the section with water, and you're going to do the same moisturizing process I showed you earlier as you go through these sections. The other thing you want to do is finger part first. When you finger part, you can then go back and clean up that part with a rat tail comb, but again, it'll just reduce the number of knots that you encounter. Another great thing to do is when you get to the end of your braid, instead of braiding it all the way to the very end and having a really tiny braid to undo when it's time to take your hair down, 2-strand twist at the end. So braid it, and then when you get close to the end, maybe you have an inch of hair left, then start 2-strand twisting. So you'll see me do that in this video, and I do that so when I go to take out my hair, I don't have knots. And then lastly, I section my hair into 2 parts, and then I make cornrows across. And I do that because when I cornrow all the way to the back, and I just do I basically do from front to the nape of my neck, my hair starts to get thick and it makes it harder for me to cornrow. It just takes a lot more energy and arm power. So I've split it into 2 sections, so it reduces the amount of work I have to do, but it also reduces the amount of knots that I encounter. So those are some tips to reduce knots while you're cornrowing, and like I said, the rest of the video will show you how I cornrowed my hair. To protect the hair at the nape of my neck, I make a separate smaller section in the back on both sides. So everything that's cornrowed is going to be underneath the wig, and then these front twists are what we're going to blend. So what I do is I take this is an actual wig cap. I didn't cut this. I bought it like this, and so I love to wear this underneath because just the flatter and smoother you can make your head, the less extra volume you give to the wig, so it's better to keep it flat. And I put this directly over my hair, and the excess hair I have in the back, I just kind of fold and tuck. And you want to try to tuck your ends underneath, because that's the best way to protect your ends. Let's just keep them curled up. So I've curled them up in there. Okay. Now there's some excess right here because I'm not sure how much we're gonna need to push the wig cap forward. It's something you just play around with once you have the wig on. Alright, so this is my finger comber unit. And it's got the pull straps at the back, and I have them on the widest grip because the widest grip is still snug enough for my head, but it's not so tight that it gives me a headache. So that's what's going on there. And you can see that this is the front. It's got kind of like these ear flaps. So what I'm going to do is just put this on from the back to the front. Okay. Alright. So it's on. And as you can see, these hairs are what we're going to need to get blended. I'm going to pull the wig cap forward just a little bit more, and this is where you just play around with it until you get it the way you like it, but I'm going to pull this wig cap forward just a little bit more. I don't want the wig to sit on my own hair, I definitely want it to sit on the wig cap. So just pulling this forward a little bit more. Okay, so we're going for a natural looking hairline. That's the whole reason I have hair out in the front. Alright, it's bobby pinning time. I can show you better than I can tell you how to pin and blend this front section, so the rest of this video will just be how you pin and set up the hairline in the front.